Have you ever really stopped to think about the power of your words? I mean, their real power? Today we're diving into a book that sold hundreds of thousands of copies, The Tongue, A Creative Force by Charles Capps, and it makes a pretty radical claim that what you say doesn't just describe your reality, it actually creates it.
So what is the big idea here? Well, according to Capps, words are way more than just sounds we make to communicate. He argues that when we speak from a place of really deep belief, our words become a kind of spiritual energy, one that's capable of making real, tangible changes in our lives. The book really doesn't pull any punches, as you can see from this quote. The core message is simple. Your vocabulary is shaping your reality. What you say about your life, day in and day out, is literally what you get. Now, that's a huge claim, right? So let's actually dig into how Capps supports it. To really get this, we need to start with the book's foundational concept, something Capps calls spiritual law. You see, Capps suggests that the principles in the Bible aren't just, nice suggestions. He says they function like the laws of nature, as reliable and predictable as gravity. And just like gravity, you can either work with this law for your benefit, or you can ignore it and face the consequences. The book uses this great analogy to explain it. Electricity. If you use it correctly, it lights up your world, powers your life. But if you handle it carelessly, it can be incredibly destructive. The author's whole point is that our words operate on the exact same principle.
Okay, so if our words are really this powerful, why aren't more people seeing amazing results? Well, the book points to a core problem. A lot of us are unknowingly using this incredible creative force against ourselves.
Capps makes the bold claim that many people, even when they pray, end up just reinforcing their problems. By constantly talking about the sickness, or the debt, or the failures, they're basically pouring energy into the very things they want to get rid of. And this slide just shows the contrast perfectly. On one side, you've got what Capps calls praying the problem, which is just describing the negative situation over and over again. And on the other, you have saying the answer, speaking the desired outcome. The book's core argument is this: you can't arrive at the solution if you're constantly talking about the problem. So how do we fix this? How do we flip the script? Well, Capps offers a specific method for turning things around, and he calls it the God kind of faith. The entire method is centered on this one verse from the book of Mark. Capps presents this not as some kind of nice metaphor, but as a literal formula for how faith operates. And notice the emphasis, right? It's all about what a person says to the mountain, to their problem. Capps breaks this verse down into a super practical 4-step formula. Step 1, you speak directly to your problem. Step 2, you have to get rid of the doubt in your heart. Step 3, you truly believe that your words are becoming your reality. And finally, step 4, the outcome is that you get what you've been saying. It's laid out like a spiritual law of cause and effect. And this isn't just some abstract theory he's talking about. Capps actually uses his own life story as a powerful case study to show how this principle works in the real world. So, Capps was a farmer, and he found himself in some serious financial trouble. For 2 solid years, he admits he was constantly speaking negatively, saying things like, "It won't work out anyway." And guess what? His crops failed. Again and again. The big turning point came when he discovered this teaching about words. And then he faced the ultimate test, a chance to buy a farm with literally zero money. This is where he put the principle into practice, and it led to a pretty dramatic breakthrough. And here it is. This is the turning point. When his wife asked him how on earth they could buy a farm with no money, Capps says these words just came out of him. Money is no problem. He believes that because he had been filling his mind with promises of abundance, this was the natural spirit-led response. And he claims that single declaration is what kicked off the whole chain of events that led to him getting that farm. So what does all this mean for us? Well, the book's final section is all about putting this into practice. It's not about some single magical phrase, but about building a consistent daily habit of using your words with intention. All right, here's the game plan the book lays out. First, you have to stop giving a voice to the negative stuff, the symptoms, the debt, the problem. Instead, you find promises in the Bible that speak directly to your situation, and you start declaring them out loud every single day. The idea is to repeat this until the truth of those promises feels more real to you than the challenges you see right in front of your face. And so, as we wrap up our look at The Tongue, A Creative Force, it leaves us with this powerful, really provocative question. If the book is right, if our words truly do shape our world, then we all have to ask ourselves, what reality are we creating with the words we speak every single day?